What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing today on this 24th of August at the time of this recording? Got some stuff to talk about. Some of it's old news, though. Just haven't had a chance to really talk about anything. So I guess let's stop wasting time and get right into things. Welcome to Brad's Bad Show About Games. My name is Brad, and I am not one of the two brawlers to be revealed for Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl at the Future Games Show in 2 days. We will talk about that a little bit later, but first off, as usual, we're going to go over some Fortnite stuff. There were a lot of leaks in the last week or so that came out. Because it was really wild too. It was probably exactly a week ago that all this happened. But anyway, so there was a big update last week, and there was a lot of stuff. I talked about that stuff. And then no sooner did I finish recording a bad show episode about the stuff from the update that the leakers had found, then all this extra stuff leaked, and there were just tons of stuff. And apparently even some stuff for the end of the season event leaked too. I haven't seen anything about that. I tend to like to avoid that kind of stuff because those events are really cool and being spoiled as to what happens. Luckily, the leakers tend to not post that stuff. They'll say, yeah, I've seen it. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys though. So thankfully, those leakers, like I don't mind if character collabs get leaked. I'm a little bit more concerned about like the story stuff. Yeah, like keep that secret if you can. Like if I was to come across it, it really wouldn't, I'm not one of those people who gets super upset about something being spoiled. But if you can, if you can experience something for the first time as it's happening, that's always a little bit more fun. So, but anyway, two of the big reveals came out that we were getting Will Smith and Morty skins. Now, the Morty skin is already out. I already have it. It's really fun. Really funny skin. It comes with the Swifty emote, too. And it's a duo emote. So if you get So if you do the emote, somebody can come join in with you on tambourines while you're doing the song. So that's a really cool thing. And because Morty's a kid and he's short, they put him in a mech suit so that he would be the same size as all the other characters. So that's a clever little workaround. The other character it's not Will Smith though. The Will Smith skin is based on his character from Bad Boys, which is strange because we're in an alien invasion themed season. Why didn't they go for his Men in Black character? I thought that was going to be an easy prediction for the season. Was like, oh yeah, they're going to go for the Men in Black. That makes perfect sense, especially after they leaked that one, the Human Bill skin, the alien with the suit and the shades. I was like, oh yeah, the Men in Black's going to happen. Apparently not. So it's gonna be this guy instead, this character, which I haven't seen. I haven't seen Bad Boys, and it's been a long time since I've seen Men in Black. But it is kind of cool though that they're getting a character with Will Smith's likeness. I'm not sure if I'm gonna buy him though, because like I said, I don't know how to feel about these like real people skins. I don't know. I guess because it's not Will Smith. If it was Will Smith, I don't know. I could get him though and make a bunch of Fresh Prince jokes because I love the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. But I don't know. I think just it's weirder that they did not go with his Men in Black character. That would have fit the theme of the season. But we also don't know when this is coming out. This could have been no. I was going to say it might be a leak for next season, but I don't think it will be. Because, like I said, Morty's already in the game. I'm curious what, like, the story element will be, though. Like, there's really not much story element to these collabs. It's more like hey, we need some extra firepower, so we got this person, and here they are. Like, that's usually the story element. But anyway, I think it's cool, regardless. I just think they should have went with the Men in Black character. It would have fit the season. It would have been more appropriate. But and maybe they'll do something like maybe that will be an alt version of him. I don't really know much about like rights and stuff, but well, no, that wouldn't make sense. That wouldn't make sense either if it's not supposed to be. They can't just interchange one character or another because I'm sure that there's like licensing stuff and all that. Even if it's Will Smith, they can't just say, they can't just put another likeness over that and say, here it is. But, rights, copyright, trademark, all that stuff it's intentionally confusing. It's so that you don't question it. But, anyway, this is cool either way. And some of the other skins that are coming out too, those could be a lot of fun. There's another skin coming out too. I can't think, what's his name? Balvin? He's already done a collab with Fortnite in the past. I think it was something, maybe premiered a music video in Party Royale mode or something. But he's getting a skin of his own. Now let me check. Let me check something real quick. I hate not knowing how to pronounce people's names, so I'm going to try to look at this. Hold on. Okay. I just watched this video. Somebody says Balvin. Okay, so J Balvin. This is Balvin. So J Balvin will be in the game. Like I said, I don't really know much about this particular artist. I mean, I'm more of the metalhead type guy. But again, people who, it's like I say about a lot of these like stars and stuff that come into the game and they get their own icon series. People who are big fans of his will obviously be very happy. And it's just the same. It's the same for like the Morty and all this stuff. All the Marvel and DC characters, Will Smith, even the gamers, Laserbeam and Ninja and Loserfruit, all those people. It's a way for people to celebrate things that they like. And if you're a fan of these people and these shows and these characters, then good for you. If you've got the money to buy them and support them, then you should do that if that's what you think will make you happy. So anyway, that's just some cool stuff. I'm sure there's more stuff on the horizon. We're almost towards the end of the season. I think the final day of season 7 is September 12th. That's like 3 weeks. They're in the middle of Wild Weeks right now too. So they're doing that again. Although it seems like the alien artifacts are no longer appearing on the map each week, which sucks. I need like 120. I think I need 127 more to finish the Chimera stuff. I only have left in the regular battle pass. I've been done with the regular battle pass. The extended special rewards, I only need Prismatic Rick, and then I'm done with those. And then all I have left for Superman is the Shadow version. And on Thursday, when the next Epic Quests drop, I'll be able to finish that. And so the only thing I'm going to have left is the Chimera stuff. And the only way I'm going to be able to get that is to farm the mythic chests. And, I do not want to do that. But I'm going to have to if I want to finish it. If I don't get the rest of the Chimera stuff, I'm not going to cry too bad about it or I'm probably not, I don't care. Like, it'll be annoying to not have it all, but I don't think it's a big deal. At least to me personally. Especially the last line of stuff is like what emblem you can put on his armor. I mean, I could do some funny things with that, but if I don't get that stuff, then I'm not worried about it. I do think they should have still every single week of the game, like if you're dropping like these alien artifacts, there should be artifacts on the map. There should be, for people who maybe don't have people they can play with, instead of like locking it between like, no, you have to play with others. Because there were times where I would be in a game and and I would go to the mythic chest thinking that the rest of my squad mates would come over and help me open the chest, and they wouldn't. And so then I just leave the game. I mean, we would have plenty of time. We'd be plenty of space away from the storm, and they just didn't want to do the chest. So very annoying to deal with. But anyway, season's almost over. Something I forgot to talk about during the last show, and there's been some time, is this image here was leaked a little while back, and as you can see, hold on. As you can see from it, it's from Fortnite, but the art style is very different. The character models don't look like they do in Battle Royale. Peely especially has very big eyes, but he's holding weapons. Somebody pointed out that they're holding weapons that you can't use in Battle Royale, like one's holding a shield, Peely's holding a scepter. So some people were thinking that this could be an RPG mode, like a completely separate game that you play with that's set in Battle Royale. And that could be really cool. I don't really know what this giant creature is in the background, but hopefully we'll get some explanation for what this is. Maybe it's in the works for next season. And then when the new season, or the new chapter, rolls around next year. But that seems like it would be a long time, because season 8 will likely go through, trying to think. Usually a chapter lasts 3 months. A season lasts about 3 months or so. Excuse me. Like this season started in June, ran through July, will run through all of August, and then end midway in September. So logic would dictate that season 8 will end in December, and season 9 will start in December. So then going by that, season 10 would start in March? And then that season would likely, and this is all, assuming that there are no delays, then season 10 would end in June, which would likely be the end of this chapter, and who knows what would happen at that point. But I'm curious to see what would happen if this is indeed an RPG mode. Like, would you be able to use skins from Battle Royale? Could they make that work? Or is this something where you go in? Could it be a MOBA style game? An arena battler, whatever you would call those. So like Pokemon Unite and World of Warcraft. Not World of Warcraft. League of Legends. That's the one I'm looking for. Could it be a game like that instead? Or will it be a turn-based RPG? Like, imagine a Fortnite mode that plays sort of like, old school, like Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest in a turn-based battle system with magic and weapons and stuff. That could be interesting. Supposedly there was a whole, like, I talked about this before with the LeBron James thing. There were supposedly plans that would allow players to go into a mode to play like basketball. Like they were working on a basketball mode that you could go in, I guess, with your skins and actually play a basketball game. Like that kind of seems like, I think, what they want to do. Maybe that's their plan, is to give people different styles of games under the Fortnite name for them to play, while they still make like tons of money off of Battle Royale and a third-person shooter mode. But if you could go into Fortnite and use all the skins you have and then play, say, like sports games, or jump into an RPG, What if they make a fighting game? Just throwing out some ideas here. But I think that might be, if this is an RPG mode, and they maybe and if they haven't killed off the idea of doing like a basketball mode where you can play sports as your skins, then maybe that's the idea, is to create a whole Fortnite gaming universe. I mean, it might sound like a wild idea, but I like wild ideas. Anyway, what else is wild is Fortnite introduced recently the Imposters Mode, which is quite literally just Among Us in the game. It's what's cool is it is sort of playing into the story about Agent Jones's betrayal of the Order, but it literally is just taking everything from Among Us and putting it into Fortnite. And apparently the Among Us devs we're not too happy about that, because apparently there was at one point a discussion between the Among Us team and Epic to do a collab together, but the talks fell through, and then this happened. So maybe originally they were going to do this as a collab with them, and then Epic was just like, okay, we can't agree on this, we'll just do it without you. So I don't really know. Like, I don't know how to feel about this, because it seems like people were pointing out that, Among Us isn't the first game. It's not the first murder mystery style game like that. That was the one. It happened to be at the right place at the right time, and it exploded out of popularity just because streamers found it. Excuse me. It became a trend. So I don't think it's necessarily wrong that Fortnite did this mode, but it does seem a bit scummy that if this was intended to be, if this was what their original collab plans were, and then they just dropped the Among Us team from it, that does seem kind of low. So I don't know, man. Like, it's because it comes across a little bit to me that the Among Us team is mostly upset that they didn't get to do the collab. Like, they may have wanted to, but they couldn't get the agreement, and they were disappointed that the mode was very well received and they weren't a part of it. But at the same time, I kind of get it. It seems very much like hey, why didn't you do this with us? This could have helped us out a lot. We could have gotten a lot of money or attention off of this. And at the same time, I get it. It seems a little bit petty, but at the same time, you're kind of like, you're wondering if this whole mode was the original collab plan. And they're just like, no, we'll just do it by ourselves, and we don't need you, and we'll just keep all the money. We'll keep all the whatever it gets. I mean, you don't have to pay to play it, but I mean, it could have potentially driven people to play Among Us if they had stuck that on there and had done more with the Among Us name in the mode. But I don't know if they really needed that, though. I mean, Among Us is big enough at this point that it doesn't really need Fortnite's name to help sell it. At least I would think so. I mean, most people were basically, they saw this mode and were like, oh, it's like Among Us. Just like how when people saw the Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl trailer, they were like, oh, this is like Smash Brothers. I mean, so I don't think that they need Fortnite to boost them. Although it probably would have gotten more people to come to the game. So I don't know. Just an interesting bit of headbutting going on there. Something else that happened. We got some more news on Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. And they're bringing back a lot of the features that you remember from those games, like the underground and underground bases and digging for, fossils and rare jewels and stuff like that. That will all be in the game. Pokemon following is back in the game too. Now that wasn't in Diamond and Pearl. It was in the remakes from that generation though. That was Soul Silver and Heart Gold. And a lot of people really wanted that back. and it looks like you're gonna get it. What else was there? It looks like the visuals have improved a lot, which again is expected. I mean, there's a reason why they put that little caption down at the bottom that says, warning, video footage is not final product. It's so that you don't sit back and look at it and go, this looks like crap. I'm not buying this game if it's going to look like this. No, they're telling you it's not going to look like this. They're telling you right there. I mean, I didn't realize just how, like, weird the Pokemon fan base can get over stuff. Like, I just don't. Like, the games are so simple, and yet, like, the drama around it all just feels like, it's like, what can we complain about just so we can have something to complain about? But, anyway, I'm looking forward to these games. I still think that the decision to go with, like, the chibi style for the overworld is cool, and it's a nice throwback to the DS. And it does it at least it helps it stand out visually from the like the Omega Pearl and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire remakes, where they did the whole thing with making it look like X and Y. But this will help these games stand out more visually on their own. So I like that they do things like this. So, I mean, there were plenty of people complaining about how ugly Sword and Shield were, so I don't know why people would prefer for the games to look exactly the same as that. So, but there are some people you'll never make happy, so I'm not too worried about it. Plus, there are going to be some layers underground where you can find certain Pokemon, and that's the only place where you can find them. So that's another interesting little addition. Trying to think of what else I can remember. I mean, they mostly just showed off the game, and how everything looks different than how they introduced Rourke, or whatever his name is there, the rock trainer, and they introduced Cynthia and Team Galactic. Like, okay, like, yeah, we got it. It's the same thing that we do every time these remakes come around. But anyway, I'm very interested to see what happens. Very interested to see how they will work in the Giratina storyline in this, considering this is Diamond and Pearl. Will we get to go to the Distortion world and fight Origin Form Giratina? I imagine they'll have to rework the story to some extent to justify us going to the Distortion world. But anyway, aside of that, Pokemon Cafe Mix is getting an upgrade, and they're going to call it Pokemon Cafe Remix. I had downloaded that on my Switch, and I was going to stream it. Or not stream it, but, do videos for YouTube. And turns out that game only plays by touchscreen. So I'm going to have to download it through BlueStacks and play it that way for you guys, because then I can play it on my computer. But yeah, I do want to try to do that. Hopefully I can get some footage of that before they do the big revamp. But anyway, that's just a little tidbit of something. The thing that was the most interesting to me, though, was the update for Pokemon Legends Arceus. And this game could be very, very interesting in how it affects the Pokemon franchise going forward. Because this game showed off the battle system. Now, the way the game is going to work is that you're going out, you are creating the very first Pokedex of the Hisui region. I think it's a Hisui. This is not known as the Sinnoh region yet. And apparently this takes place at a time where Pokemon and humans are pretty much segregated. There's not a whole lot of interaction between Pokemon and humans. And this team's goal, which it seems like the team or the organization in this game that you will work on behalf of, will uh, serve as the focus later, they're clearly inspired from Team Galactic. It's like the Team Galaxy Observation or something like that. The Galaxy Observation something or another. I don't remember. But the thing that's interesting about this game is that, first off, catching a Pokemon, if it's a fairly certain wild Pokemon will have different temperaments. And the more calm and approachable Pokemon, they will be the ones that are easier to catch. Looks like you can just kind of sneak up on them, throw a Pokeball, which you'll have to aim, which is cool. And that's how you catch those. The more aggressive Pokemon will actually attack you, and you can take damage. So that's a new feature, to have like wild Pokemon actually physically attacking the human player. So that's interesting. And if you run out of HP, you will black out, and I guess that will serve the same purpose as would in the main series games, where all of your Pokemon are knocked out. But I want to know exactly how the catching system works, because if most of the Pokemon you catch, you just have to sneak up on them, which I do know that like certain Pokemon, if you're not careful, they will fly away, they will run away from you. So I hope that the capture system is a little bit more challenging than just be quiet and sneak up on the Pokemon. As long as you don't run, you just throw the Pokeball and you've caught them. So hopefully there are cases like if you try to do that and the Pokemon is either too strong or too aggressive, it'll break out, and then you have to battle it. And the way you battle it is you select a Pokemon, one of your Pokeballs that has a Pokemon in it, and you throw it at the wild Pokemon, and then a battle will immediately launch. So I think there's not even like an animation or anything for it. There's not like a transition from overworld to battle. It just goes right into the battle. And it looks like it's turn-based, but they've introduced a fighting system change that is a very big change to the way that Pokemon battles have always been conducted. It is now, since Generation 1, the way it's worked has been you select a move, and the Pokemon who's the fastest uses that move, unless they use a move that negates that. Like Quick Attack or Extreme Speed or whatever. This time you can select a fighting style between Agile Style and Strong Style, which will allow your Pokemon to either attack with a weaker Swift attack, which conserves your energy, or throw all of your power into one single attack. It's like a stamina sort of thing. You can get in one quick light strike using whatever move you want, or you can go for the strong style all-out brute force strike. But that could affect how many times you can attack. So I can't remember the way it works, but like if you play Octopath Traveler or a game kind of like that, that's how that battle system works. You can break, it's a chain. And depending on how you attack, you could actually launch 2 or 3 attacks in a row before your opponent can get in one. And I assume that it may also be possible to prevent your opponent from attacking if you build up enough force, because that's how that happens in Octopath 2. You can break the chain and render your opponent completely defenseless. So that is a humongous change to the core battle system for Pokemon, assuming that it still works otherwise the same way. You have your super effective and not so effective. You have certain moves that one-hit KOs and stuff like that. If the battle system otherwise stays the same, I wonder if this might be them experimenting on moving away from the traditional Pokemon style battles and making this the norm. Now, they could also just make this as a continued side thing where Pokemon Legends just becomes its own series, like Mystery Dungeon, and it's just an ongoing thing. They could always just substitute in other things. They could go into other regions and talk about legends from those places. Like, what if we do one that's based on Hoenn? If we go and we see the first awakening of Primal Kyogre and Primal Groudon, and see how they lost their primal powers and went into deep sleep. To see Rayquaza come down, and fail to actually defeat them until that legend takes place where the people wished on they pled their wishes to Rayquaza, and Rayquaza Mega evolved into Mega Rayquaza and stopped the primal Groudon and Kyogre. Like, that could be an interesting thing. And that would tie into the main series lore. But I'm just curious as to, like, is this going to be an ongoing thing or not? Could this become the new standard for battles? That would be interesting. I kind of don't think it will, though, because, like, the 2 version releases of the standard Pokemon battles has just worked. It's worked from day one, and as they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it might even be beneficial to them to have 2 different versions. Like, oh, you like the main series games more than Arceus? Okay, that's fine. Well, we're going to make both of them and then make everybody happy. Because more than likely, there's a lot of, the people who are looking for something different from Pokemon will definitely be into this to see just how different it is. And I don't think we're not talking about 2 completely separate audiences here. I mean, even if you prefer the main series over Legends, or if you prefer Legends over the main series, there's going to be a lot of, overlap. At least to me, that's what it would seem like. There's going to be a lot of people who buy or are interested in both the main series and Legends. I think that the people who are going to be exclusive to either one probably won't be that many. But there are also going to be new Pokemon in this. There were a new evolution for Stantler, which is like, says something to, like, if a Stantler who lives for a very long period of time in, like, extreme conditions or something. It's called, like, Weirdeer, I think is what it's called, or Wiredeer. Anyway, it looks like a Stantler, a whiter Stantler with a big beard, and you can ride it. So riding Pokemon is coming back. There's what's it called? There's an evolution for Basculin, Basculin Legion, that's what it's called. And apparently you can ride it too. But apparently the way you get that Pokemon, is that the lore is that Pokemon absorbs, like, the souls or the spirits or the sorrow of all the Basculin in its pond or river that have died trying to migrate or something like that. So so I think it's a water ghost type. So it's fueled by the loss of its friends and family. That's how it evolves. That's kind of tragic. But there's also Hisuian, I think is how they say it, versions of Braviary, or Braviary, I think, or whatever you pronounce that, and Growlithe. There was one more, and I can't remember what it was. What was it? Now I gotta look. Now I gotta look. Weirdeer, Basculin Legion, Growlithe, and Oh, there was not one. Okay, I was wrong. I swear there was another one. But, at least we do know that with Hisuian Growlithe, there will be Hisuian Arcanine. The Braviary, whatever, is Psychic Flying, and Growlithe is Rock Fire. I kind of want to use the Growlithe because I really like Growlithe and Arcanine. I'm curious what he's going to look like, though, when he evolves. That's going to be a big determinant. Not really a big fan of the Fire Rock typing, because that means it's not going to stand a chance against water. But anyway, it could be interesting. Types don't really like it's not going to discourage me from using using it, but I do hope I can't wait to see the Arcanine. Although I am curious now how many different Pokemon and variants are going to be in this game. And the fact that they are introducing some new Pokemon, like, that's kind of wild. Like, there are entirely brand new Pokemon in this game. And this is not even a main series game. They kind of did this, well, it's not even the same, really, because they teased Generation 4 in Pokemon Gale of Darkness for the GameCube, because they put Munchlax in there first. You couldn't use it, but it was a little NPC Pokemon that was running around. And there was a Bonsly in that game too that would hide, but you could use it in a very limited capacity in one of like the mini game battle things. So you could technically use it, but not in the standard battles. You could only use it in that very limited sort of like digital battle mode. It was I can't remember what they even called it, but that was the only way you could use Bonsly in a battle. It wasn't even a real battle. But so this will be the first time that we're actually given a new Pokemon in a side game where I'm guessing you'll be able to use them in the regular battles. So again, this is kind of why I'm still thinking maybe this is going to be the beginning of a new direction for Pokemon as a whole. Like it's an exciting thing to think about. So, trying to think of what else there was I wanted to talk about in terms of the Pokemon stuff, but that might be it. Mostly just I'm really curious to see them explain in more detail. Like I want to see a full battle. I want to see somebody actually play this game a little bit. Like I want to see how somebody can come up on a Pokemon, how to tell on a Pokemon, when you're going to have to battle a Pokemon and just throwing a ball is not going to work, But I think the idea of exploring this big overworld full of Pokemon and having to be careful of what you can do, be careful of which Pokemon will attack you and which ones won't, that's going to be fun. And I want to know how much the battles will change. But I talked about Nick All-Star Brawl earlier. And that is because today they've announced, actually not that long ago, they've announced that they're going to announce 2 more characters being added to the roster at GamesCon for the, what was it? The, it's like Future GamesCon? Is that what it's... The Future Games Show, not Future Games Con. Talking about. Let me find it. Let me find it. It's like the Future Games Show or something like that. Where is that trailer at? Maybe if I search for the game. Future game show on Thursday. So yeah, 2 days from now on the 26th, at the time of this recording, there will be 2 more characters announced for this game. Now, the problem with that is if you look at this image here that's on the screen, that suggests that there are only 8 more characters to reveal in the roster. Now I'm going to play this and assume I'm going to take this. I'm going to assume that this is the full roster. If this is the full roster, that's not good. Because right now the total number of characters revealed for this game are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. 14 characters with 8 more to be revealed. That's 22 characters. I think that's too small for a game that has had this much excitement built for it off of solely its announcement. The very fact that people know that this game exists, and it basically took over all of Twitter for a whole day. And to the point that I saw multiple people say, this is the funnest Twitter's been in years. This is the most positive day of people just laughing and sharing memes and jokes and, their just sheer joy at the possibility of what this game could be and what characters may or may not make it into the game. That, it was legitimately one of the funniest and fun moments on Twitter or on the internet in general that I can remember in a long, long time. Like, the closest thing I think to the sheer joy that I can remember is the night from 2012 for April Fool's Day where Toonami came back unexpectedly for one night. Like, that night kind of took over, and that actually led to a full revival for that block. And here we are 9 years later, 9.5 years later, and the block is still going. It's still here. So my issue with it is that I think, and I want to say this, I think that, and I think they pretty much have basically confirmed that they had no expectations for this game when they revealed it. And when they were making it, whatever plans they had already had. I think the initial plan was to do the same thing they did with the Nickelodeon Kart Racers games and just drop the game, let it launch, and let it do whatever it's going to do. But the difference is that the Nickelodeon Kart Racers games had no expectations of them. They were blatant, for lack of better word, rip-offs of Mario Kart. It was just Mario Kart, but with SpongeBob instead of Mario. And that's exactly what this is. But the problem is, the reaction that this game got, and then all the other tidbits about rollback netcode and everything, now people have major expectations of this. And people are very excited about what this game could potentially be. So, if I'm looking at the massive reaction that this game got, and I'm sitting there looking at it and okay, we thought this was just going to be a game we drop, and then the hardcore Nickelodeon fans, and then maybe some parents whose kids still like SpongeBob and love the Loud House, maybe some old people who loved Ren and Stimpy back in the day will buy this, and we'll make a little bit of money off of it. Well, now you've got fighting game experts who are looking at this saying hey, this could actually have really good online play and may actually have better online play than Super Smash Brothers. One of the biggest video games in the world. I mean, and you're looking at it going okay, people are actually saying this could be something that when Smash Brothers is finally over, when did they reveal Kazuya? Let me see if I can find that. It's been a little bit since Kazuya came out. Oh, it was in June. It's been over 2 months. I knew it felt like it'd been a little while, but I mean, gee. I didn't realize it was already over 2 months. That was at June 15th, according to the first thing that comes up when you Google it. So yeah. Kazuya's been out for a while now, and there's usually like a 4 month break between Smash reveals. So we could actually be getting close to that final Smash reveal. I didn't realize it had been that long. But people are looking for something that, like, people are obviously, when Smash is finally done and there's nothing else to look forward to, what better time to have something like this, a Smash clone, again, for lack of a better term, to come along and be hyping up characters every so often. Like, they're already copying Smash. Just lean all the way into it. So, but in terms of the roster size, and I had a few people push back on this a little bit, I would say that 22 characters for this game would be acceptable had it not gotten the major reaction it did. If this game came out and nobody cared, if the reaction had been, minuscule and it got basically the same sort of reception that the kart racers games did, then 22 characters as a full roster is, I think, acceptable for that. But the problem is now they have expectations. This is now a highly anticipated game, and people are expecting something that they can play after Smash Brothers is over. And so there's now a lot of pressure. Now, I know somebody said this is going to be the first game that they've done of this, so so 22 may, yes, there should be some DLC, because that's just the way games are these days, especially fighting games. It seems crazy to think that anybody would release a fighting game, in 2021, and not have DLC for it in some way. But the hype is here, and they need to use it. Because if they keep adding characters, it's just gonna make them more money. It's the same reason why Smash adds more characters. It makes them money. And I don't know how you would do that. Like I said this before, there's no reason why this game couldn't make it to 40 characters. So if this is the base roster without DLC, then I think that's okay. I think 22 is a good place to start. But only if that's the start. If this is the end, then no. But I'm holding out faith here on this, because they did recently tweet out. Let me see if I can find it again. They put out a tweet the other day that said, let me find it. Where is it? I retweeted it. Oh, here it is. From last week, it said, if we seem quiet about Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, it's because we're making plans. And they put the little winky face emoji. So that gives me hope that they saw the reaction. They saw how much people are excited for this. And they've gone back and they've adjusted their plans. Because if you have a game like this, it's like we talked about Among Us. Among Us exploded in popularity, and then it went from having nobody playing it to having thousands and thousands and maybe millions of players during the last year. And then they revealed later that they had been planning to make a sequel game. They were going to make an Among Us 2, I guess. But they scrapped that plan due to the massive support for the first game, and decided, instead of making an entirely new game, we're going to scrap that and then work on implementing more stuff for the game that's already here. See, that's what I mean. That's the same thing needs to happen here. Adjust to the reaction. Like Among Us was out there. Nobody really expected anything of it. It was just there. But then people found it and it became popular. So what did they do? They adjusted. They adapted. You got to do the same here. And I said this on Twitter. This could be a lightning in the bottle sort of thing for them. There's a massive interest in this game. Take advantage of that. Milk the Smash Brothers-ness out of it as much as you can. And they're already doing that to an extent with these. We're going to reveal 2 characters at this next game show. So I think that they know they've got something. I want it to translate into a bigger roster. 35 characters to 40, I think, is reasonable in the end. Or if you wanted to, I don't really know exactly what they could do. A fighter's pass seems to be like the next, a fighter's pass seems to be the next, the obvious route to go. But what if instead, depending on what their budget is, what if instead of doing a fighter's pass, they just drop a new free character every month or 2? Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 is still getting DLC, and it's been out for 5 years. You add in the 2 or 3 mobile games that Dragon Ball has at the moment, and Dragon Ball FighterZ has come out since then. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot has come out since then, and they're still adding characters to Xenoverse 2. So that's all I'm saying. If somebody said, well, when Smash started, they had to build up the reputation. Actually, it's not quite true. The reason why Smash's original roster was so small was because this was an original idea for a party fighter game like this. And originally, they weren't even going to have Nintendo characters in it. It was going to be completely original. And then somebody got the idea, what if we did Nintendo characters? And they went to Nintendo to get permission from them to do it. But I think, if I remember right, Nintendo turned them down and said, no, we don't want our characters in a fighting game like this. But the Smash team did it anyway and showed it. I think they showed it to Miyamoto, and they actually liked it. After they showed it, and they actually changed their mind on it and then said, oh, no, go ahead. Do a Nickelodeon, do a Nintendo fighting game. We think people might actually like this. So the original concept for this was, they didn't really have much expectations for it, but it got so popular. I don't even think they were planning to release it in the States originally. But it got so popular that they decided to release it in the States. And and that's where it became a thing. That original trailer for it, for Smash Brothers, with Pikachu, Mario, Donkey Kong, and Yoshi walking hand in hand with the little song, me and you and me, da 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 da, that whole thing, and then Mario trips Yoshi for no reason, and then they just start beating the crap out of each other. That's an iconic trailer at this point. That was the start. But I mean, but there was also but that also came out in, what was it, 96? No, 99. Oh, still, that's a long time ago. For the Nintendo 64, this is 2021. There's no reason to expect a 22 roster fight. This is the best we could do from a game in 2021 on freaking, the new Xboxes and the PS5, because surely that's where this game's going to be. But, the whole thing with the original Smash game was that there really wasn't much expectations of it. They thought people might like it. They released it, and it exploded in popularity. Hang on, I'm reading. Anyway, I was trying to read up to see exactly what it was. But, like, I could swear I remember there being something about, like, how the game wasn't initially, like, or it got really popular in the, in Japan, and therefore they brought it over here, I think. Like, I don't think they had initially, like if I remember everything correctly, they didn't have much expectations of Smash in the beginning, and it was only after it came out and people just like went crazy over it about how fun it was to play and how cool it was to see Link and Mario fighting Donkey Kong and Pikachu that, you know, it led to the sequel game that had much larger budget and had much higher expectations, and every Smash game has had higher expectations, and I think that for the most part they've lived up to that. But the problem is for this game is that it's starting with high expectations. So people are already like that is both the it's a double-edged sword for this game to be imitating Smash Brothers, because you know it's getting the hype of Smash Brothers without being Smash Brothers, but at the same time that's coming with massive expectations that they're going to have to try to live up to. And they can't just dump, like I said, they can't just dump this game on day one and call it a day. Like, it's gonna die off quick, I think. If this is the final roster after these 8 characters are done, and it's only 22 characters, I think it'll still get some attention. It might even be fun to play, but I don't think you're not gonna get that long life that Smash had without extra characters. But I'm going with my gut on this, that this is just going to be the base roster. I hope I'm right, and that there will be DLC. Like I said, that tweet about them having been, why they were being so quiet and why things were taking a while, is that they were making plans. And I interpret that as we're getting deals for DLC. As in, who can we put in the game? Because I'd assume they have to approve all that with Nickelodeon. And I can't imagine Nickelodeon looking at how much hype this game built on day one to say, no, we don't think there's not much in this game. I mean, dumber things have happened. Let's be honest. Dumber things have happened in the gaming world than a company seeing perfect opportunities to make tons of money by being a blatant ripoff of one thing or another. If we were going to talk about, like, you know, Fortnite ripping off Among Us, and this is Nickelodeon ripping off Nintendo here. But I don't know. I'm going to stay hopeful. That tweet about having plans seems like a good thing to me. And I will say this. I think I'm going to go ahead and predict who these 8 characters are going to be. I think it's super easy based on that blacked out game cover that's out there. I think that it's going to be Rin, Stimpy, Aang, Korra, Cat Dog. Those seem to be the 5 that are certain to get in. And the other 3 I think you're going to see are Jimmy Neutron, Timmy Turner, and maybe Jenny XJ9, Jenny Wakeman. That seems like the most obvious choices to me. And see, the reason why I can't believe that this would be the final roster is also there's only 2 of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And there's just so many characters. That's why I can't imagine them having, like, I think it's just not acceptable if this game has less than 35 characters. I'm looking 35 to 40 seems very reasonable for a game that has managed to build up this much attention. And if they're going back looking like, how can we make this the substitute Smash game that people want this to be? And people are basically saying they'll throw money at us to turn it into the next, like, sort of substitute Smash game, they could do a lot more characters. So that's what I'm hoping for. I don't want this to be something where people look back and think, dang, they could have really done something with this, you know? But I guess we'll find out in 2 days who the next characters are. I'm guessing it's Ren and Stimpy because the trailer that came out today said something about iconic duo, and they said SpongeBob, and they started to say Patrick but swapped it to Reptar. I think that it's gonna be Ren and Stimpy. But we already basically know Ren, Stimpy, CatDog, Aang, and Korra are in the game. It's the other 3 that are sort of up in the air. But I can't, like I said, where's Jimmy Neutron? Where's Timmy Turner especially? Danny Phantom got in. Timmy Turner's got to be in. And Jenny seems like one to go to. I'd have to go through and look. So, but one last thing before I get off of this topic is Nickelodeon Kart Racers had 12 characters in it, and that was it. The second Kart Racers had 29 playable characters and then 40 assist characters. So if this game here doesn't have at least 29 characters, then they failed immediately. Because neither of those 2 games had any expectations of them whatsoever. They came and went, little to no fanfare whatsoever, other than I think people were like, at least they added more characters to the second one. At least there's a good number more characters in the second one. This has to be better than that because people actually expect something of this. They expect a quality product this time. So you've got to hit 30 at least. And I think there's no reason why when this game is completely done, you couldn't have a solid roster of about 40 characters. I want this to be that Smash replacement. And it is, at this particular moment, this is the game that I'm the most interested in. But anyway. And yes, I still want Ryu in the game. Please, make that happen. Anyway, last thing I'll talk about real quick before I get out of here is new Dragon Ball Super manga chapter dropped. We see Ultra Ego Vegeta, where he has basically become the opposite of Ultra Instinct, where Ultra Instinct is all about evading a technique, having perfect offense and perfect defense in which your body just reacts on its own. You are so in tune with your mind, your body and mind are so in tune that you don't have to think about what you're doing. Your body just does it. Well, in Vegeta's case, he completely embraces himself in a way, it seems, and getting hit actually makes him stronger. So even if he takes damage, it fuels his destructive ki and boosts his power, although he seems to become a lot more primal with it. And every time he gets hit, though it hurts him, it just makes him stronger. And he seems to take pleasure in being hurt because it just means he can keep fighting harder. So that's interesting. I'm not too sure how I feel about the lack of eyebrows, but I think that they took his eyebrows away to give him more of that primal look, to make him look more like a, like he's not. It's not like the Berserker full power Super Saiyan like Broly and Kale have, where they lose their reason, or the Ozaru form. That was what it is. The rage form that Broly has, which is where he taps into his Ozaru primal instinct, and he loses basically all sense of himself. But Vegeta just becomes more savage. He's much more like, I'm going to destroy you because I like it. Like that kind of thing. He's aware of himself, and he's aware of the damage he's taken, and he realizes that it's like he's become consumed by the urge to fight, but not enough so that he can't think freely, and he can't, that he's not aware of what he's doing. But anyway, ultimately Vegeta beats him up real fast, He tells Granola, I'm not your enemy. He said Frieza actually wiped out the Saiyans too, like just like your people. But he throws away his head goggle AI friend Oatmeal and basically says, I don't care. The Saiyans still destroyed my people. I'm still going to defeat them. And it turns out that Granola also had a big power up from where Vegeta was like, you haven't had enough battle experience to tap into to actually use this full power of yours that you have. So you're just too inexperienced. But fighting Vegeta in this form actually helps Granola get accustomed to fighting, and he is able to use his not Sharingan powers in both of his eyes now. So Vegeta originally had told him, said, he had thanked Granola for drawing out this latent destruction power in him. Said because if he hadn't fought him as tough as he had, he wouldn't have been able to use it. But then Granola turns that right back around at the end of the chapter and says that it was Vegeta's destruction powers who helped draw out his latent ability too. So the chapter ends with Granola on the sort of flipping the tables turning, and we find out the Heaters are indeed collecting the Dragon Balls on Planet Cereal. I think they found one, and now they just have to find the other. And the idea seems to be, from my guess, is they're going to wish that who is it? Gas, I think, is the one who is their strongest warrior. My guess is they're going to wish to make him stronger than Granola. So, still no sign of Frieza yet. Vegeta is down, but not out. They still have one Senzu Bean, so I'm wondering what's going to happen there. The Heaters seem to be very thrilled with the idea that Granola, Goku, and Vegeta will all just destroy each other, and then they'll be out of their hair, and then they can focus on taking on Frieza themselves. But Goku isn't back awake. He's trying to heal himself. I guess he's going to get back in the fight. My guess is that we may see Gogeta in the next chapter. And I've seen some people posing the idea that if Ultra Instinct by itself and Ultra Ego by itself are not capable of destroying Granola or stopping him, what if Gogeta actually is able to combine those powers? Could be something. We haven't seen Gogeta in the manga before. We know that that whole Broly fight happened in the manga. They just didn't cover it. And we haven't seen Broly in this arc either. They've not even mentioned him yet. So, still strange that such a powerful character out there is just not doing anything. But who knows? Anyway, I'm still interested in the story. And I pretty much, if it's Dragon Ball, even Super Dragon Ball Heroes, as goofy as that is, I still like to keep up with it. Even though I think that the writing in that and the overall build for the web series is just not good. Like, Super Saiyan Rose 3 is just ridiculous. I think they're actually fixing to do that. It's going to be Super Saiyan Rose 3 Goku Black against Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta. And it's such a ridiculous concept. I think that there are parts of it that could be good if you tried to rework it to make sense within the actual lore. But Super Dragon Ball Heroes just throws everything out the door. It's just whatever goes. There's 5,000 different variations of Super Saiyan, and like Super Saiyan 3 Rose. I'm so glad that they basically have abandoned the idea that there are more Super Saiyan forms in Dragon Ball. Like, I'd much rather they explore what Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego are than just add another Super Saiyan form. Like, I was sort of skeptical about, like, the God form initially. But I was like, it's different. There's a different way to get it. And then they introduced Blue, and I was like, well, maybe Blue is just Super Saiyan God, but you can actually tap into it at will. Like, it's the same form, kind of. That's kind of what I thought it was gonna be, but it's not. It's just the next stage. So I'm glad they've moved on from the Super Saiyan forms, and they'll more than likely try to combine Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego with Super Saiyan so that Super Saiyan doesn't lose and become irrelevant. Like, Goku never uses the Kaioken really anymore. He has no reason to now. So, and you'll probably never see Vegeta's Super Saiyan Blue evolution again either. There's just no reason for it. So, it's sort of like how you really don't see Super Saiyan, you never see Super Saiyan 3 anymore. It's just there's no reason to use it. If they use Super Saiyan 3, it's just for you remember this form that everybody thought was cool but also had a tremendous drawback of using? Yeah. But anyway, I've been talking for too long now. So thanks for listening. I'm going to go try to see what all is going on. I think there's something going on now. Some kind of show going on at the moment. I just saw something for Sea of Thieves is getting a Borderlands themed DLC. It just got Pirates of the Caribbean DLC. I didn't even get to finish that. What is this? What? Hold on. I'm looking at an Arcade 1-Up trailer right now. They are making cabinets for children. They're making a cabinet for Paw Patrol games. Okay, this is kind of crazy. There's a Paw Patrol Arcade 1-Up cabinet coming. I was waiting for them to do Marvel vs. Capcom 2 at last, because they've done Street Fighter vs. X-Men and Marvel vs. Capcom, the first game. But okay, we got Paw Patrol coming. Okay. I'm going to have to look into this and talk about it in the next show. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe. Donate to the channel through Ko-fi if you can. Would be much appreciated. Check out all my other videos. And we will see you next time. Later.